Right. Hello. Yeah, sorry for the abrupt cancellation of the stream yesterday. We're just in this situation with our 4-year-old who has a second throat infection within 3 weeks, doesn't want to take medicine. It's just horrible stuff. But let's not talk about that now. Let's rather play around with ReactX, because we had a bug last time we tried it, and I fixed that bug. And I thought we are going to test it by actually using AI. And the reason I want to test that is because there is like no API surface to it. So I wonder how intuitive it will be for an AI to actually work with it. So let's just go in here and do like a hello world kind of thing, where we're gonna remove all of this, but we're gonna kind of set it up for success. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna have one folder for state and one folder for UI, because this is the mental model, right? And then we're gonna move our UI stuff in there. And then we're going to create a new index.ts file. And we're going to export a class called state. And we're just going to say message equals hello world for now. And then, and this will be kind of part of the, I'm sick too. My partner is sick. Like, oh my God. Anyways, so we are going to, kind of like part of the guide here is going to be, I guess it doesn't quite understand this yet, from ReactX. Should be there, yeah. So we're going to pass in the state as, let's see, UI app state would be, let's see, type app props would be state, is state coming from state. Hello there, good afternoon, I guess. Hope you're doing good. Let's see, and then app props. So what I mean to say is that we're gonna test using AI here, just to see if this like initial setup is enough for it to actually understand how it works, which is gonna be huge. Because what I've noticed when using AI with React, for example, is that React gets so easily spaghetti code. Like it inlines everything. Even when you tell it to use a hook, there's questions of where it puts that hook. It just becomes very overwhelming to dive into that code. What I'm hoping to see here is that, well, there's limits to the complexity we're going to test with, but that in some sense, it's going to be easy to jump in and actually read the code it generates. And it has like an intuition of how to organize it. And the intuition we're building here is that there's a state folder and there's a UI folder. So this is for state, this is for UI, right? And this is good for you as well as a developer. Anyways, so we're going to do state. Wait, doesn't this have typing? Oh, it's just okay, let's see if this actually runs first. And let us remove let's just remove, wait, app CSS. Why do we have index CSS? Okay, fine. Fine. Let's keep root, but let's remove this stuff. Oh, fudge. Yeah. So the problem now is that we are trying to link. Let's see. We are trying to link this project But it is going to read node modules from its own folder. How do you properly link this stuff? And it has, does it actually have, I don't think it, yeah, so yeah, it has a dependency to React. I wonder if the React DOM dependency, is different. That's why it's, wait a minute. Where is it? Yeah. Node modules, MobX React Lite, Bonsify. Where the hell is this coming from? What? What the hell is that stuff? I should have checked this first. What are we gonna do about this? Bonsify? Do we have? Where's that coming from? Who? Wait, is it linking something else maybe? Yarn link. Okay, let's try this and then link it up again. I'm gonna remove this. We're not working on that anymore. This is other stuff. Let's see, there we go. Okay, yarn link ReactX. No, what the hell is this? Why is it pointing to this thing? Why MobX React Lite? Okay, I'm not gonna let this stop us. I'm not gonna debug this shit at all. We're just gonna copy over the dist folder, the package JSON. That's all we need. Let's see. Oh, come on. And then let's delete node modules. Let's do an npm install again. And then we're just gonna add a folder, ReactX. Where is that folder? We're just gonna put that in there, and then I think it's gonna work. Let's see, npm run dev. You're fucking kidding me. Oh, okay, npm install MobX. We need MobX. npm run dev. Oh, for fuck's sake, I can't believe this. You know what? We're gonna fucking publish it. God damn it. I can't believe this. Alpha 2. npm run build. npm publish. Tag alpha. Sorry, I just need my phone. Let's see. Oh my god. npm 674154. Oh no. He has an issue with, I can't believe it. Let's see. For fuck's sake. I can't believe this. Okay. There's an issue if I open my phone while, for fuck's sake, now the camera doesn't work. Oh, there we are. Thank God. If I open my phone, there's a problem with the zoom. So I'm zoomed in for some reason. So again, let's remove node modules. And let's rather do an npm install ReactX alpha. And I haven't figured out how how like I keep using an old node version, but I have actually set a new default, but for some reason it doesn't work. I don't know why. Oh yeah. Okay, let's put index in there. Okay, finally. Oh my god, that was horrible. So what we're gonna try to do now is just ask the AI to create a to-do app. Hello? Oh fuck, now this doesn't work. What the hell? Whew. This was a rough start. So could you go in and make this simple hello world example into a simple to-do app? So the point is, like, when you're, oh, for fuck's sake, where did you put that? Sorry. So the point is, when you're using new tools, like, and you're using it with AI, it's problematic because they don't understand how those tools work because they're trained on older data. But if you have a library like this, which doesn't actually have anything, like it's completely transparent, it just has a single link between state and the UI, and you have this underlying concept of a state folder, a UI folder, which separates the concerns. Like, this is what the AI picks up on, and it knows very well how to write classes. It knows very well how to write React. But I'm curious to see what it actually does. Yeah, look at this. It even summarizes it in state management and UI features. That's pretty cool. Hey, it looks like shit. Wait. This doesn't, oh. There isn't anything, there's no, oh, there is text there, okay. Why doesn't the toggling work? That's interesting. Oh, I didn't set up the observer, sorry. That's my bad. Let's see. ReactX from Babel plugin. Yeah, I guess this could be a Vite plugin in and of itself, but yeah, whatever. Plugins, ReactX. It's funny that, yeah, there we go. Sorry. Let's look at the code. So what it did now was create the state here, add the to-dos, next ID. I guess that's fine. And then for the UI. So what I want to try now is like just telling it to like create a to-do component. And I wonder if it's gonna pass in the to-do itself, or if it's gonna like pass in individual props, for example. Please, oh sorry. So I would like the to-dos to be their own components. Let's see what it does there. And I've been iterating on, maybe we can take a look at that. I've been iterating on, let's see, git pull. check out, what did I call it? Terminology. Yeah, let's see. I've been working on divergent to-dos, and I have, yeah, a new, oh, wait a minute, did I? Oh, that's working. I have a new landing page, and I'm working on this test feature. So during development, you can click like test app. It actually creates a test user, but it is production. But it creates a test user, and on the server side, it uses the Stripe test API key when it is a test user and everything. And I have like Playwright wired up here, which is really nice. But yeah, I'm really happy about this landing page. It's kind of cool. It actually shows the actual app here. And I'm gonna update with a new video that's gonna be shorter and more to the point. But yeah, anyways, let's see. Did it refactor it? Oh, that's the, where are, here we are. Oh, so it actually did a lot of stuff here. So we have to-do form, to-do list, and to-do stats. We have a to-do list. Oh, interesting. So it's passing in to-do, and then it's passing in state, which is great. Like this is not gonna, this is exactly what we want. We want to pass these state domains as props and not like individual values, because we're tracking whatever we're accessing inside the to-do item. And what we could decide to do here is rather expose the state on a context, right? So you didn't have to pass it as props. But it's really nice. What does it actually use? I guess it's the delete. Yeah, delete to do. Cool. That's nice. That is certainly nice. Does it actually work? Hey, hope. Except that it looks like shit. Great. So another thing that's interesting is when you're using classes, you tend to think about things in domain instead of functionality, which I think is, at least interacting with AI, it's better to talk about domain than functionality, because AI is good at deriving functionality from domain. Like as an example, I can, instead of saying I want to use local storage, I can say I want a JSON storage that's going to be stored at to-dos locally, for example, or whatever. Or I want, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you say that you want to use local storage, it's definitely just gonna implement local storage directly in the existing state. But if I say that I want a concept of JSON storage, for example, it's probably going to create a class that's called JSON storage, and then it's going to use that for the to-dos in the state. Yeah, let's try this. So I would like a concept of JSON storage, which in this implementation is going to use local storage. And then I want to use that, that JSON storage to store the to-dos locally. I wonder where it puts it. I wonder if it creates an interface and everything. Yeah, update state class to use. I created a storage folder. Okay. I guess that's fine. Yeah, it did create an interface. That's interesting. This might seem overkill, but this is like good principles to follow. because I might have different storage later, right? Or I might be exposing the app on a different environment, like on the server, or sorry, in the node environment, or in like a React Native environment, or whatever. Hey, oh, oops. Let's see. To do stored state. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, it even, yeah, and it even uses private. That's really interesting because it is private. The next ID is also technically private, but fine. Yeah. Save to storage. Oh, it saves the whole thing. Yeah. That's also fine. Okay. What next? It will be interesting to make it do something async. Maybe we could build on this. Like, I think we need to make the JSON storage interface async, because now I want you to implement like a server, do a server mock implementation of JSON storage. Yeah, and then use that instead. So I think you can still make the mocked server implementation still use local storage, but it needs to be async, right? So put in some like fake timers and stuff to kind of make it simulate a server environment, and then use that for the actual to-dos in the state. So then we can try to play around with our query. So we can do like mutations and query. And of course, it won't understand those primitives. That's for sure. So you would have to manually implement that at least the first time, and maybe it would kind of learn from that. But I've been reflecting on this. Like, I think libraries should have like AI instructions. Like, part of the README, you have like how to get going, but also AI instructions that you can like paste into your Claude MD file or whatever, that gives it the basics of how to achieve certain things. Or at least have like a pointer to what the library offers. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like this. It actually chose to compose this. So it's passing the storage into the state, which I really like. It understands that since this is an interface, right? It depends on the environment. The state should operate. Oh, this is really good. Like, I guess this is maybe expected, but because it made the storage an interface, like our state should be able to operate as is in the environment. And that's why we have this interface for the storage, right? Because the state just says, I need a JSON storage. It doesn't care about what kind of JSON storage it is. And then it passes it correctly. Interface versus Copilot agent mode. Yeah, so what I've kind of landed on currently, I haven't tried the new cursor thing, but I don't like the mix of editor and agent. I like to have an interface for agent or I'm coding, right? It's like having a colleague. You ask that colleague to do something. So I need that to be very separate. But it's interesting how cursor has its like very explicit agent and editor mode now. So I want to try that, but But yeah, so I prefer this, like using the CLI outside, running it with like full permissions, and just do like I trust it. It never messes up this stuff. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so now it has some async stuff going on. So what we're gonna try to do now is introduce the query, and I'm not sure what. Sorry, I'm not sure what we want to do here. Do we want to ask it to go online and find? Do we have? No, we don't really have any documentation for this other than here. Where is data queries? We could ask it to go here and read about it. Yeah, I'm curious what it's gonna do. Let's do it. So maybe we can look at it together first. So with ReactX, like ReactX in and of itself is completely transparent. It only has a one reactive function that you use when you bridge your external state with React, and then everything just works. But doing object-oriented state management, like classes and stuff, is even though you have automatic observation, there are certain things in state management that's tricky. Not tricky, but basically async state management. Oh yeah, you're talking about Cursor. Have you tried it? The new one? I saw they had like this new kind of diff approach. As I guess that's what you're referring to. Like you're actually looking at the changes and then you can interact with those changes. It seems like a really good next step of how we think about interacting with agents. Yeah, I'm very curious to try it. But yeah, so async state management is difficult from a UI perspective. Oh, yeah, I haven't tried Copilot for a while. But yeah, as I stated, I don't like that Copilot runs next to my editor. I prefer having it as like a separate experience, as if it's not an assistant to me. It's like literally a different person working on the code base, kind of. I'm not sure why I prefer that. But I think yeah, I think maybe I find myself just sitting there staring at what the agent is doing when I'm in my editor. So I'm kind of not going through code or doing other things. But when I jump into my terminal, I ask it to do something, I very quickly tab away and I do other stuff. So I think that has something to do with it. But yeah, so back to async state. Like async state isn't a problem in an object-oriented world, but it's a problem in a UI world, right? How do you consume promises? And there's two ways to do it in React. Either you have state for linked to that promise. So as you can see here, like is fetching, does it have an error or is it resolved? Or you can use suspense. So that's what this query abstraction does. It just gives you the actual state for that asynchronous operation. So yeah, please take a look at this query primitive for ReactX and then rather use that for the to-dos. Wait, what was that? Wasn't that the URL? Wow, that's a long URL. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. And then we're going to do the same for the mutation. We're going to give it a link to the mutation, because this is the other aspect of asynchronous stuff that's easy to do in an object-oriented world. It's just async await. You don't really care. But from a UI perspective, it's tricky because again, you want to know when the mutation is pending. You want to know what did I pass to the server so I can optimistically show that in the UI while we're waiting for the server. There's a different strategy, which is like just update your local state, like actually update the to-dos array, which I usually did in the beginning. And it works, and it makes it feel super snappy. But technically, when you put something in there, it isn't actually in there. So there are risks of like, maybe you are refetching the to-dos and suddenly it's gone because it's not saved on the server yet. Or you need to introduce an additional state for all your to-dos if it's actually saved on the server or not, like if it's optimistic. And maybe that's fine. But yeah, at least, and you can still do that with a mutation. But a mutation also allows you to get access to what you're sending to the server while the mutation is running, which means that you can use that information to show an optimistic state. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, now it says loading to-dos. No to-dos yet. Do we actually have some to-dos? This is weird. Don't we have to-dos? Did it change something? Oh, no, we don't have to-dos. Okay. Oh, I deleted them, I think. Yeah, I guess it much more than that, but we can take a look at what it did at least. So it still has a storage, and then it has the to-dos query. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, okay. So then it takes if stored. Yeah, exactly. This is fine. It's a little bit weird that we have this next ID thing. Like that's not something you would actually have. Maybe we should refactor that. Yeah, let's remove this. Now that we're simulating the server, please remove that next ID thing. Just apply an ID inside this mocked server implementation. Cool. And then we're going to try mutation, see how that looks. And then what I want to do is in this Divergent To-Dos app that I'm working on, I'm using only React, and then I built this pipesy thing, which actually had a bug. And I was like blaming Claude for not being able to fix something, and there was a bug in that pipesy thing. So I really want to actually refactor that app to using this. It's going to be a nice way to test it. And I'm not sure if I want to. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to like run the dev tools next to it. I kind of want to make an iteration first on, because what I realized when I asked Claude to just refactor what we did with the dev tools is that he created this observer concept inside the proxy. So the proxy just emits events about what's happening. And currently that's very like Overmind-ish, since we were using the Overmind dev tools. But I want to, now that we have the power of AI, it's going to be very easy for us to just build a dev tool. So I rather want to kind of review those events, make sure they make sense, see if there are any events missing. And then we're going to just try to spit out a dev tool based on those events. That will be more fun. but we need to kind of have a running app first. So yeah. Okay, let's see what it did now. Yes, so now we have the server. We have our query, which is much simpler. Yeah, this is a weird way to write it, but okay. We could just do this, of course. And then add to do, text completed. Oh, interesting. So it actually goes in and optimistically updates the query value. Interesting. Okay. How does it know? Oh, cool. But it's good that it does something optimistically. Toggle to do. Yeah, so this is interesting. Like we're passing in the ID, which I guess is fine. So this is one place where mixing object oriented with functional becomes a little bit tricky, at least conceptually, because it could rather, well, first of all, why couldn't you just toggle it to do in the component? And we could allow that, but currently we actually block making state changes directly from React because it's good practice in React. But we could also pass in the actual to-do object here and then just toggle it. But that also feels kind of weird. So the point is that this is very much like React-ish driven. It's kind of, the interface for the state is very kind of not functional, but the way you would expect React to consume state, which is like passing in the ID, but then we have to go and find it, and so on and so on. And then it actually does optimistic update here as well. And then it deletes on the server and revalidates. And I guess everything's kind of working. Oh, it isn't. Something's going bad. To-dos.map is not a function. Ooh. Oh, it didn't actually see. Where is this? To-dos list. Oh. How can this be undefined? This is weird. What is to-dos? It is a proxy. That's true. Oh, it still has the next ID thing. Oh, did we have something in local storage? Sorry, then that's the problem. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, it was just because we had stale. We don't have migration in this app yet. Yeah, and you see there's like latency on. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't thought about this. Like, you could try to just change the value, but that's not the way it's intended to work. So I'm wondering if it should really have known about the mutations first. But let's just do that now, see what happens. So I see you're doing optimistic updates by just changing the query, but we're actually not going to do that. We're going to have proper mutations here as well. So please read this mutation documentation and apply that to the app. see if it gets it. But yeah, so I'm just doing this AI test now, and then we're gonna do manual refactoring and kind of discuss a few things as we're going. When we actually refactor divergent to-dos. So that's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Back to my roots. External state management. Transparent. With proper async primitives. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, so we're just gonna check this, then I'm gonna stop the stream because I'm kind of happy about this. I have a couple of things in ReactX that I've been playing with. Subscription and something called ensure. And these are, what's interesting about this is that even though at its root, it's just plain object-oriented state management, we have these primitives to expose, to kind of bring the two worlds better together, more seamlessly. So a given is like async, like how to properly expose async stuff to React. But another thing is like, what if you have multiple components that's interested in some subscription, right? You would have to ensure that if like the number of components subscribing to this subscription should make that subscription active. While if no components are subscribing, then it's inactive, right? So that's a thing that can be done more seamlessly. And then you have creating state from React. And the point is, the only way to like create state from React is that how should I put this? So because of the reconciliation loop, you can't really create state in the render phase, right? In the component function, because then it's just going to create it every time the component re-renders. So you need a way to be able to say, give me form state, for example, and lazily create that as you're mounting the form component. So it's like it's the UI that drives the state creation externally, instead of driving the app externally and then the UI kind of follows. I'm not sure about this, like, because who's then in control, but I think it is much nicer to be able to think about it's interesting. Like, so you could have a state of like, what is the current to do we are. Yeah, I'm not sure about this. It's something to discuss. Anyways, let's see what it did. First, let's just test it. Okay. Hello. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah. So you see that it adds it optimistically. That's pretty nice. It didn't do it on the delete. I guess it's just missing a delete to do mutation. Yeah, it doesn't have like an indication. But what we could do here manually is like delete to do mutation is pending. So if we check it now, well, I didn't see it very well. But anyways, it was disabled. But the way this works now is that in to-do list. Yeah, what's really cool about this, it's the to-do form that's actually doing the mutation, as we can see here. But then it's the to-do list that's actually consuming the state of that mutation, which is by looking at its pending params. So has pending to do, it's going to insert a to do in the front that doesn't do anything. You can't delete it or anything like that. It's really interesting. Yeah, so it totally gets this. I love that. Cool. So I guess that was our test. And sorry. What we're gonna do next on the next stream is basically, yeah, manually start to refactor divergent to-dos. So that's going to be very interesting. So you kind of get to know a bit more about that project, how it's implemented basically only using AI. We can point out like where AI goes wrong, like the cost of doing iterations with AI and all of this stuff. And then see how we can clean stuff out, clean stuff up. We get to test the library. It should be like pretty production ready, at least from just using it. The other thing is the DevTool thing, and it can be optimized and stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, cool. Yep. And does it actually do? Let's look in the state. So what we have now is, yeah, now we have to-dos query. We have add to-do mutation. And yeah, it creates it and then it revalidates it. Toggle to-do mutation, updates it, revalidates it. Delete it, revalidate. Yeah, exactly. Beautiful stuff. Loving this. Cool. Then that's it. Thanks for following along and we'll speak soon. Bye for now.